Welcome back to the Absolute Beast podcast. Today we're going to talk about RPE and progressive overload, the basics. Progressive overload is a principle widely used in strength programs around the world. For many, merely just understanding the why will help them understand progression is important. Progressive overload is the gradual increase in stress placed upon the body during training. To picture progressive overload, I like to use the analogy of Milo of Croton as an example for progressive overload. Milo of Croton was a celebrated Olympic wrestler, but he was well known for his superhuman strength rather than his wrestling accolades. Milo demonstrated what's considered as one of the first recorded forms of progressive overload. He decided to carry a newborn calf around his house every day to help him build strength. As the calf grew, so did Milo's strength. Fast forward a few years, and now that newborn calf had developed into a fully grown bull. However, Milo was still gallivanting around his house as if this bull was just as heavy as it originally was, back when it was a calf. How was he able to achieve this, you may ask? Progressive overload. As the bull grew in size, Milo's body adapted to the weight of the bull. Remember, this didn't happen overnight. It took years for the bull to fully develop, allowing Milo's body to adapt to the weight of the bull, progressively getting stronger. Now that you understand the basics of progressive overload, combining this with the principle of RPE. But what is RPE, and why should we use it instead of percentage work? Now, I'm not here to debate the effectiveness of percentage work versus RPE, nor will I say that one is more superior or more effective than its counterpart. RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. My personal definition for this is the perception of how heavy or how hard a certain movement is based on the rate of perceived exertion required. So in English, if I asked you to aim for an RPE of 8, I'm looking for you to leave 2 reps left in the tank. People may argue that this method can be difficult for most novice lifters as they don't know their body's true potential, or they haven't really established a firm 1 rep max, and I completely agree. However, even from a personal perspective, if they were to understood that their weight, their technique is always going to be the main attribute in any training. So the better your technique, the better your lifting potential. This is not only going to allow them to be more mindful of how good their technique is with the weight included, but it also will demand for higher percentages. When you get heavier in a program that demands higher percentages, it can definitely off-put the technical component of your lifting. If you're worrying about hitting 90% for a couple of reps, but your technique looks terrible, then you're not going to perform at your full capacity. Whereas if you're looking for a 9 RPE, you may potentially drop the weight to what you think leaves 1 perfect rep left in the tank. I also like YouTuber Jeff Nippard's approach on how to find what a certain RPE may feel like. He tests by using more hypertrophy-based exercises, and he calls out when he believes that he's at his RPE required. So for example, if he was aiming to completely max out and do a 10 RPE, he would call out when he believes he has 2 reps left in the tank. From there, he'll see how many more reps he can bang out truly to get a gauge of where his actual RPE lies. So RPE can be a great tool for progressively overloading. The reason being is you're not having to worry so much about hitting a certain weight. More thoroughly, you're looking at hitting a weight that's going to be suitable to maintain perfect technique, which is the most important thing. One of my favorite quotes is from Sebastian Orleb, and he says, "You need to earn the right to add weight to your bar. If you can't perform a bar weight squat with perfect technique, then how the hell are you going to perform a 100, 150, a 200 kilo squat with poor technique? It's just not going to work." Well, there you have it, guys. That is the basics of RPE and progressive overload. But why am I telling you this? The importance of understanding why we overload when it comes to strength will give you a better understanding of your own body, its mechanics, and how and why somebody improves going into the future. That's going to be all from today's podcast. I hope you enjoy the episode. Leave it a like, share it with a friend, and I'll see you on episode 4.